Hey, crazy friends.
Happy 2022, guys.
It's Jay and Francis with Find Your Crazy. We're a family of 9 and live full-time in an RV with 5 of our kids as we go around the country to see every national park. And this is the third video in a series kind of closing out 2021 and kicking off 2022. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about all of our highs and our lows for the year of 2021. And there were some really big highs and some really big lows.
Oh, yeah.
And then last week, instead of talking about it, we took a look at it. And so last week was really just a montage of month by month what we did through the year, looking at some of the fun we had and the amazing places that we saw. And so this week, the third video, we're going to be looking forward as what's coming in the next couple of months for our channel. Stay tuned. So, what's coming?
Good question.
That is a really, really good question.
That's a good question. I'd like to have the answers too.
So, this video we had we're going to and intended to talk about what's coming in the future for us and for the channel. And honestly, we only have a short window of what we know, but I mean, I think that's also kind of part of what this lifestyle has taught us is you only plan firmly as far as you can reach because you just never know what's coming.
Right.
And that's true of life as well, but for sure in this RV lifestyle. And so, you know, that's what we want to do is just kind of share with you where we're going. It's also a little odd in that, you know, our videos take time to make and to produce, and so we're always a few months behind in what we've posted to the channel.
Unless it's like a seasonal.
I was gonna say, and then that compounds.
And we dot that in.
Yeah, so then that compounds with the fact that there are some times when we're going kind of at a nice pace and, you know, like there's really kind of only really one thing that we want to share. And then there's sometimes when we get like up in New England where it's like 4 things in 3 days that all deserve their own video. So they get pressed in. And then you get some things that are sprinkled in like the holidays and things where it's like, you know, we don't want to wait 6 months to put out the Thanksgiving or the Christmas video.
And it makes sense.
And so you end up with stuff dotted in that actually happened that week. And so you end up with kind of this backlog of videos. And so even though we're talking about what's coming for us as a family in the next 4 months, actually what's coming for the channel for the next few months is in the past. So it's just kind of a crazy...
That's clear as mud, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just kind of a crazy... this YouTube lifestyle is just... It's takes a little getting used to.
Yeah.
So what's coming for us first? Let's talk about what's coming for us first. So this is going to be an interesting season for us coming into this new year. We're going to do something that we haven't done since we launched, and that is sit still. For this long. We've sat still for a couple of times.
The wedding, they sit still.
We did right at the beginning. We got locked down with COVID, and that was like 2.5 months in the exact same spot. And then when we were heading into the wedding, that was like 6 weeks in the exact same spot as we were trying to prepare everything for the wedding, 5.5 weeks.
Christmases, we always stay about a month to a month and a half.
But even then, a lot of times we're moving around
families.
a little bit. You know, we'll be 3 weeks and then we'll go see your parents and come back. And so, you know, those two. But so we're going to do the longest stint we've done. We're going to spend 4 months, the entire winter. We're going to winter with my parents. We haven't even really shared this. We have a little bit on the channel in that if you followed our the traumatic flood video, the reason that was traumatic is because when the campground flooded, I wasn't there with the truck, and I wasn't there with the truck because I had gone to help my parents pack up their house. They lived in the same house for almost 20 years and were wanting to move, and they had a lot of stuff to pack up. Well, the market was so crazy that it took them several months to find a house. and buy a house. And so once they bought the house, we actually went right around Halloween and
we spent
the month of October.
about 5 weeks.
Yeah, we spent about 5 weeks. We got there 2 days before they closed and helped them get unpacked and moved in and decorated. And so during that time, we realized they probably need some more help.
Well, and then they've had another catastrophe
over
over
they had
Thanksgiving.
A water pipe while they were gone to Thanksgiving.
Their house flooded. New house flooded. So then that undid several things that we'd already done.
So all that to say, we wanted to go back and just plant there with them. Good news is they bought a house that's like 15 minutes from one of our favorite campgrounds in the whole nation.
Yeah.
And a campground that offers an amazing winter rate. And so...
Huge tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're...
Winter rates in very touristy places.
Yeah, so God worked it all out from a timing perspective. And so we're going to sit still and help them and just kind of do a more of a stationary lifestyle. The kids were, as soon as they found out, they were super pumped. They wanted to get back into sports and some of the things that we haven't been able to do as structured. I mean, every campground they find friends to go play pickup football with or basketball with, but that's not the same as being on a full out league, a full out team.
Practices, making friends, having a team.
And though we have enjoyed some amazing churches, it's Sunday morning, and we all just go as a family, and so they haven't had really the children's church other than what we do here as a family or youth group. And so those things that have been missing, we're going to get to plug those back in. So we've already got them signed up for football and cheerleading. We've already got a church where they're going to get plugged into.
We have a potential. We're looking at some homeschool co-ops where there's some extracurricular activities, enrichment classes.
All things that we did back when we had our sticks and bricks.
All things that those kids have done before, and now we're kind of getting a chance to squish that in. And God has just provided, you wouldn't think the winter would be a good time for sports, but it is. We just happened while we were there to connect with some churches, and we were able to see because we were there already.
Yeah, 6 weeks we were able to plant a lot of these seeds.
We knew before we left that we were going to come back. We knew that. We've known that since the fall. So it really was good because we already started to scour. We were looking at opportunities and things like that. So it's been really, the kids are really excited. I'll be honest with you. They're also excited about living close to their grandparents. We've always lived in different places.
Being able to be over there. I mean, literally during that time, because we were helping decorate so much.
We were after school, we would go every single day. Eat dinner with them every day.
Get up, do school, go. And so they kind of got spoiled in that. And so they're really looking forward to that because we've never lived
near
close to either grandparents.
No. Closest is like 2 to 3 hours away.
So a holiday kind of experience. So they're really, really looking forward to that aspect of it. And so that's really good. It's also good because it's going to give us a chance to really spend some time settled and not just thinking about what's immediately next, but what's long-term next.
That's right.
Taking some time to really pray through and think through. If you look way back in our very first videos, we were sharing that we were intending to be short-time, full-time family, meaning we had a plan. When we launched, we had an 18-month schedule to go through every state, well, continental, not Alaska or Hawaii, but every continental state, every continental national park in those 18 months. And that was our plan, was to do that and then to stop, for me to go back into church work. For those of you that don't know, I am vocationally a pastor, a Baptist pastor, and I've done lots of different children's and executive and youth. And next we feel like it's going to be a senior pastor position. And so we felt like this was just a good time to take this 18 months, do that, and then kind of go back into our calling. Well, then there's this little thing that you may or may not have heard of called COVID, that came in with a sledgehammer and just knocked the foundation out from under every plan that we had. Right. And so our original plan and route, like I said, was 18 months, all done. We are pushing into, in just a couple of months, 2 full years. And we're about halfway done.
That's right.
With the national parks. A little more than halfway done with the states, but halfway done with the national parks.
Yeah, we're about halfway done.
And that's posing an issue because this is outside of our plan.
Financially, we've had a lot of maintenance issues. We've had a slew of financial drains.
Yeah,
that's also our daughter is in a private college, so there's that.
So we shared that was one of our highs in the last. But then we had a wedding that we hadn't planned on.
There was a wedding
that got moved up in there because of COVID.
College,
and so there's just been a lot.
All good things except the maintenance. Maintenance no good, but all the rest were good things. But they all cost and they all factor into it. And we strive to be debt free, and so everything and every decision, every financial out requires some kind of input, and that means that changes and challenges and questions have to be asked.
And then there's just a matter of the little kids, kind of where they're at in life. Right. When we decided to do this, we felt really good about it because they were all kind of in that middle ground between children's ministry and student ministry. And so we said, hey, this is a great time. We can go for 18 months. We can do this. And then our oldest will be ready to go. Christopher, our middle oldest, our next wave oldest will be ready to go into youth group. Our other kids right behind him. We can get settled into church, get them locked back into that. And so, now we're pushing into that. Christopher is old enough to officially be in the youth group in most churches. And so, we're not wanting to miss that window too much. And then there's just a matter of calling. I'm called to be a pastor. And so that calling is kind of a draw in, what you're wanting to do. And so you don't want to stay away from it too long. And so we have some big questions to kind of explore and figure out. To be honest, we're really torn. Because
our kids are torn because if you ask our kids, they want to do something that they call part-time. That's what they've decided. They're like, we want a part-time. So I love that because our kids love to travel. They are not ready to give that up. So what they don't understand is that that's really hard to do, like long term for us. So
they want to.
They want it all.
They want it all. They want to.
Don't we all
buy a house and settle into a house. And then on the weekends, go all the way to California and back in 3 days.
Or even, parks. And they want to take these long trips, which are 2 and 3 and up to 6 weeks long. We were out west for up to 6 to 7 weeks at a time. Well, when you have a full-time job, if it's not remote, then you can't do that. You don't get that kind of time off. And so for them, they don't want to give up either. So they're excited about the stationary life, but they're also, and I think a lot of full-timers feel that, right? They feel that deep in them. Not just the children, but all of us feel, because the truth is there's no perfect scenario. There are incredible advantages to a sticks and bricks lifestyle, of which I miss desperately. The stationary life gives you roots to plant. It gives you the ability to make neighbor friends, for your kids to know who's around you, to plant yourself in a church and build community there, to be able to be in sports teams and have that community there, to be able to have any type of educational support, whether that is our twins and therapy, or whether that is just resources that you can't get on the road. There's just a lot to be said for the stationary lifestyle. I really, really believe that. And there's a lot to be said for the nomadic lifestyle. It is nice living rootless and being able to go and move, but I will say both of them have their challenges as well. And so I don't think there's a perfect life. There's a season, and
whatever decision we make is going to require us to sacrifice something.
Of course. And I feel like in our lives there's seasons, right? There's seasons for each thing. And if we look at our lives as seasons, it doesn't mean that we'll never do this again or we'll never do that again. It doesn't mean we'll never be stationary again because we're living a season on the road. But it also doesn't mean if we are stationary that we'll never have another season where we decide between jobs to take 6 months and do that. It doesn't mean that part of our life is over either way. And so I think for me it helps to just see our lives as seasons, and there are seasons to be supportive for family. There are seasons to be stationary. There's just and so we're just trying to determine what's next for us. And the truth is, we don't know. We're not holding back. We're not trying to be vague. We truly don't know, but we know that God does, and that gives us great comfort and peace as we know the next step, which is really all we're given, is today and what what the Lord has today. And so we're just trying to be really present for two very big planners, for two firstborns and for two who are highly organized people, that's been a challenge. And I think we're coming to a place of peace. I think we have that next step, and we're saying we're not saying it's one way or the other. We are going to be staying in our rig during that time, because we don't want to make any life decisions right now. We want to just sit still. We want to have time to pray. Right now, we're still traveling. We entered into the holiday season. We just came off a huge stint in the New England area. Then we went straight into the holiday season to help Jay's parents. We went and saw more national parks.
It's just hard when you're traveling at that pace to open up the time and really the mental capacity to tackle a decision that's as big as this.
And you don't want to miss what you're doing right then. And
hugely affect the next year or two of our lives, and forever. That's what we're hoping to gain for us out of this winter season.
And we're going to make the most of it. This isn't a time we are just said if we sit still for any length of time, we're going to just do the things that we haven't been able to do. The kids are excited about that. I'm excited about that. We're really looking for, and we're going to be in a great place too. So a lot of our friends want to come and visit us. Right. So that's fun too. And that is going to be, I think, a big part of making the decision for the next. We've been traveling for almost 2 years, so you forget maybe what it feels like to be stationary. So we're also hoping to give the kids and us, like, how does that feel? Like, how does that sit with us? And where are we after that? And then we know God will either provide the job that is next for us, or he'll provide a remote job in which we decide we kind of continue on some traveling. We don't know, but we know that God does, like I said, and we also know that he will provide that next step when it's time. And if we don't know, as my mom says, if you don't know, then it's not time for you to know. And so we just take that next step and then just be at peace with the not knowing. And I know many of us are in that same boat, and so you understand. And we love your prayers for just wisdom and discernment as what's next for us. We don't know.
So that's what's next for us in the short term, and literally that's as far as we can share, because that's as far as we know.
For real.
We really don't know past.
But we're excited about what we do know
of the year. So then, what's coming for the channel? So what's coming for the channel is catch up, and so like we talked about being, so far behind. And I don't want to say it like that, because I mean it's not like it's accidentally. I mean it's intentionally. Just how it helps to pace things. Trying to put out videos week by week as you're doing it is just, that's stressful. And so kind of going back and continuing, really picking up from almost July with some of the things that we've done that you've probably heard us reference that you haven't seen yet, like the Creation Museum in South Florida, and lots of these things that we've done. Several of the national parks that we've done a small video on, but we haven't done our official family tour guide yet for
a bunch of national parks.
Like we sat down and kind of, we have a schedule for our videos, and literally like we've got enough to put out that's going to make it through this whole first 4 months without adding anything. And then we're going to be doing some fun things in there. I mean, no, we're sitting still. I mean, we're not just going to sit still.
Crazy
and not
fun
have
is the part of our channel.
Yeah, we were
for a reason.
We were having crazy family, crazy fun before this channel ever started, before full-timing. I mean, our Sticks and Bricks was crazy family, crazy faith, crazy fun. And so we're going to have some other things to mingle in there, but we're going to spend most of the time in the videos catching up on those things that we have done, but you haven't gotten to see yet. And there's been some pretty incredible things for sure that we've seen in there.
You don't want to miss.
The South
Florida was wow.
That was pretty incredible. We got to spend several, like 2.5 weeks down there. 3 national parks. I mean, great. It's pretty
and
incredible.
We have some really fun things planned in the next couple of months. So we are going to keep life involved. So it won't be that you won't know what we're doing. So you'll get to see some of the kids' sports. You'll get to see, we have a couple of trips lined up.
So just know, I guess that's the thing to say is just know that for the most part, we try to on our channel kind of keep things sequential, even though they're, backdated. That's not necessarily going to be the case over the next 4 months. So, you know, don't be caught off guard if, like, 1 week in the video we're in Ohio, and the next video we're football practice in the winter in South Carolina, and then in the next video we're in South Florida. We're not doing that week to week. That's just kind of the way it's going to be over the next couple months as we kind of catch up on these things.
So you want to stay subscribed. You want to stay up to date. Hit that notification bell because you do want to know what we're up to, because you just never know when we're gonna when you're gonna get
it's gonna be a surprise every week.
It is. And also you can keep up with us on social media. On our Instagram, it's a little different. It's Find Your Crazy Journey, because Find Your Crazy was already taken. And so Find Your Crazy Journey, please connect with us on there, because I do keep that up to date. So if you want to kind of know what we're doing through the Christmas holidays, I do give a reference.
That's more real time.
Yeah, and I give a little shout out to when a video comes out and show a few pictures of that. But on the day-to-day, I'm not great on social media. As those of you who follow me know, I'm not great at it. But when I do update, I do try to keep that a little bit more up to date. So you make sure that you join us on Instagram, because that's a great place to stay connected. It will also remind you when a video comes out. Even in my stories, that's really up to date. So that's just crazy fun we're having all the time, or little things that are going on. So you want to like make sure you subscribe to that. You follow us on there, because we keep that really up to date. So you'll get to see what's going on day to day, what the stationary life is holding for us. But also you'll get to see some extra pictures when we do share a video of the things that we've been doing. So that's a great place if you want to say like, what's going on? That's a good place to know.
And then the other kind of change for the channel that's coming in this year, and it's not really a change, I guess it's a change back, is we're bringing the faith videos back to this channel. If you know, we tried, so if you haven't followed us for long, our 3 pillars are crazy faith, crazy family, crazy fun. Those are the 3 most important things for us, and we try to tackle those pieces in our videos. In our faith, we did a weekly Sunday devotional, and over the last several months, I've kind of taken that over. Because
I was doing Tip Tuesdays a lot.
Yeah, we did we made an effort to make that a distinct channel. You know, we're always trying to improve the channel and how it's doing, and how many people we're influencing. RVers.
It's a faith component, and we wanted other people to be able to search and find who aren't just looking for RVers, and that's what our channel's been kind of coined as, is RV travel and family.
And so advice that we had gotten from several different places was that we were kind of mixing 2 different things on the channel. We've got this RV stuff, we've got these faith things that are not necessarily, even though they're both us, they're not necessarily united in themes.
And connect.
So we were told that it may be confusing things and keeping people that want to get to both from getting to both. So, hey, we tried something. And so for the last several months, we've done 2 different channels, and it hadn't made any difference. So I'm not going to try to keep up 2 channels, because it's just more work. And so
you have 1 stop for all 3 now.
So we're going to post a little video about that on the little faith channel we started. But just know everything's coming back here, and so you can unsubscribe from that other channel. Know that you'll get everything right here. Yeah. And we're also going to try to get back to sharing that a little bit more.
A little bit more. So and we are going to keep Tip Tuesdays for sure. It'll be about RV life, but I always do it as real life. We're going to add in recipes.
Tip Tuesdays will stay kind of, we've hit a sweet spot where we're going to kind of be halving that, where kind of every, you know, not every other, we're not trying to be that precise, but about every other will be Francis's Tip Tuesday, and about every other will be a maintenance video that I do. And so we really, those seem to be hitting a niche. People seem to really like those. We hope you
We like them to be short. Those are much shorter. They're real concise, and they're also just little nuggets that help anybody. And it isn't always RV related. The maintenance is, but the Tip Tuesdays are really just all different types of tips that we have found raising a big family, whether it's a small space or a big space. These are just some tips that we have, and we love connecting on your tips, because I've learned a ton from your comments as well. So that's going to stay, even though we're going to be a little more stationary.
So that means you'll be back with our channel and getting 3 videos every week. Tuesday will be either a Tip Tuesday, you know, tips and hacks for living big in a small space, or an RV maintenance video, fixing something big or small on the RV. Every Friday will be our travel vlog or a family tour guide for the national parks. And then Sundays will be a faith devotional. And again, we're going to try to start sharing those so that you can get back to hearing a little more of Francis on that as well. So that's what's coming for the channel for this first part of this year.
It's going to be full. I'm telling you what, it's going to be full. It's going to be so much fun. We're looking forward to 2022. We don't know what we're looking forward to, but we're looking forward to a whole lot of crazy faith. Just God building our faith in new and strong ways through this time of unknown, and really digging into Him as we are kind of in a waiting game of what's next for us. We're excited to kind of just build our crazy family in different ways than we have been for the past 2 years, and just kind of building up that family dynamic by community and a stationary, and then also just having some crazy fun along the way. So, you know, not much has changed, but then everything has changed, and isn't that life?
all different and all the same at the same time.
That's right.
All right, so that's it for this video and what's coming in this next year. Again, we hope that you subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody so that they can get on the ground floor for this year. We're really have enjoyed the community that we've built, RVing, but we've also really enjoyed the community that we've built through
because it has been
the
so
YouTube
precious.
channel. It's been great. People that, you know, some of you guys that comment all the time or send personal messages.
And we've met up with.
Able to connect with as we've traveled. It's been a really neat opportunity to see that develop this year as well, and so we're looking forward to you guys riding along with us.
Yeah, I will tell you, we have such a sweet community. I was terrified to do YouTube. I'm not a big social media person. I'm really not a YouTube person, and so I just had a real negative view of just what would come and the kind of feedback when you put your family, when you are vulnerable about yourself, your dynamic, you also open yourself up to an enormous amount of criticism or just you know, anger or whatever. And I was scared of that. And I will tell you, we have been so blessed that that has not been the case for us. We have been protected from that. And you guys have been such a sweet part of 2021 and 2020. And so I'm praying that 2022 is even just going to expand our community, but also just to grow us all closer together. And we have loved it so much. And we can't thank you enough for being positive, for being kind, and just for being along on the journey. And you've been a whole lot of crazy fun too.
So thanks for joining us. Again, stay tuned next week as we kind of get back into the rhythm of some of our travel. Hopefully you can see some things that you haven't seen before and share some of those experiences with us. We have loved traveling with you, and we look forward to what's next for all of us. See you guys.
Bye guys.